Round 19 is in the books. We're getting down to the business end of the season now. 6 rounds remain. And we speak about every year being a team that's clearly in the top 1,000 for the majority of the time there. And it's about time to put our money where our mouth is. And we're sitting at just over 1,200 now in overall rank. So pretty well held rank, which I'll show you in a second. But team value 13.6. And we do have the extra 4 trades. So 5 trades remaining for my squad. Or just check your accounts, guys. You'll all have that extra 4 in the bank. So round 19, we had a score of 965. Not the worst round 9 ranking at 5,491. And we actually lost 3 ranks from round 18 to round 19, which is okay. We held pretty well steady there. And a few people will ask this question of why do we have Hosking here in the edge position? So the theory would have been there, it kind of killed us a little bit that Manu was out. We didn't have that extra guy to play around with on the interchange. But I would have had Crichton at number 6, for example, if we knew that Manu was still going to be playing. And it just gives you a free swing basically at that position in terms of getting extra points. So if Crichton was to then get a head knock or something in the first few minutes, get injured, whatever it is, then you wouldn't exactly have to play him because Elliott would go into that position and I would have been able to play Savage in number 5, for example, and just get him as the emergency. Does that make sense? So Elliott will go straight into Hosking's position. But when Manu went down, it made no sense to try and play with that one anyway because I was going to be taking Savage's points and also Crichton. So that was the general theory around that one there, was just to try and have that free loop because that's the only chance you've got with Hosking there in playing in that first game, for example. So that was that. We had a few average scores there, to be fair, with guys like Reedy with a 34 early in the week. We had Jerome Hughes 42, McInnes there 45, Lolo 47 as well. Obviously, a couple of tough ones early with Kohler there, and then Adam Dewey. So really could have had a much better week, but bringing in Cook, finally got to see a nice score from him with 64 was good, and got to see the spoils from Burton with his 83 was really, really nice as well. Papali'i 70 was great, and having Teddy's been super important since since I brought him into the side. So that's been great overall, but here the question mark now is how do we get someone like Cam Murray into the side? Do we try and do a downgrade upgrade? Is there someone available in the next couple of weeks at a cheap price that we could use to potentially do something with? I suppose, the question now is we have 3 real cheap guys, Palacia, Pole, and Hosking, so it's probably not worth trying to get another cheap guy in. And really what we'd be doing from here on is just doing some straight swaps of a sideways nature if there is an injury, for example. So Payne has to be another one that we'd be looking to target here in the next few rounds if there is an injury, for example. And that's probably the way that I'll be looking at it going from here on in. So we do have 5 trades, and really you want, with six rounds remaining, you're going to be wanting to use them really just for suspensions and injuries of like a one a week type nature. And the last week or two you could stick with that 17 or 18 and kind of just play out that last couple. But obviously maximizing points is going to be our most important thing here over the next few weeks, especially considering we have the 6 remaining. So I think Dewey will be a lot better than what he was. Just a little bit of concern if you watched my recent video of the kick meters that were a fair bit down compared to the week before, with Brooks taking a lot more this week. McInnes should get some extra game time this next few weeks with Finucane potentially out. I definitely know he's going to be challenging the call on him, and that might mean if he is unsuccessful in that, it will be 3 weeks. So we'll see how that goes, and McInnes should be scoring a bit better. Tamalolo, the minutes was fine, but I'm hoping for him to get a few more attacking stats would be ideal. And from there, really, it's just, Hughesy, the Storm need to turn it around, and what we would do with someone like Reed Marnie. With guys like Cotter back this week, we've got Reece Robson, who's playing really well, for example. There's a few other guys to think about, but they're all a lot more expensive. So it really, the only way we could get a few of these guys if we're able to do a bit of a downgrade there and upgrade. So like a small downgrade to a mid-range guy that's doing really well, and then be able to upgrade someone like Reed from there. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult to be able to do that over the next few weeks anyway. But that's where my team's sitting, 1271 overall. Not the worst spot. We got 5 trades left, one more than I know a lot of people would have. And that's where we're at. So there's a few things to think about, and we'll see what happens with team lists and go from there. But we will move on to the People Squad now. It's very strange here. The People Squad has a much lower team value than my team there, considering we're in a much better position. Obviously, the last bunch of weeks has not been helpful at all for us in this one, sitting just under 13.4 million in team value there. So we moved to our scoring for the week. We did use all our trades, and we ended up with a 988. It was pretty solid and improved our ranking just slightly, I believe. 598 to a 556 there. So pretty good. Cam Murray and Cook was obviously the standouts there. Got DCE and Cleary. DCE's 50 was average. You had Ewan Aikens 31, which was better than Kohler, for example, and where we got that extra 11 points compared to my squad. Obviously playing Josh Jackson, like really everyone on the interchange was terrible. 34, 36, 28, and 31 for Dewey, Garrick, Booth, and Jackson. We have no improvements in 5 and 6 with Palacia and Moale there. So that really is what let us down. Everyone else on the starting side had a really good game there. Teddy was awesome. Bringing in Latrell worked out okay. But really, this is where the issue comes into it now. When we're playing Booth, we just hope that he gets 50 plus minutes every week. He should hopefully score a little bit better than that going forward. But he did have a try assist as well and still only got the 28 points. So that's the main worry. I think Garrick will be fine. The Manly boys will be back in action from returning from COVID. I suppose the biggest question is now, what do we do with someone like Josh Jackson? And there's not really much room that we can play with, to be honest, considering 42,000 in salary remaining, and we have 4 cash outs, which and none of them are going to score really good at all, unless for Palacia it's a couple of injuries to Payne Haas and also Carrigan. So definitely a few issues in the squad with that sense, and I think we're going to struggle probably to stick in this top 1,000 if I'm being honest. If that's we need some improvements from Boothie and Jackson, I believe, to be able to get there, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get it, but we can sit and hope, that's for sure. Let's just jump into the rankings overall, just while we're here. And Will Ennis just remains on top, so he's actually up by a decent margin there at 63. He's one of our boys from England, so he's reached out in the Discord as well. We've spoken a little bit, so congrats to Will and how well he's tracking along. 1,025 keeps him in that top spot there, which is really, really good. You look at even playing Ben Trbojevic this week was a real unlucky one in terms of his scoring, considering he was he's on track to be scoring 40 plus for sure. When he plays that big minutes on the edge, he does do that. He does score very well. So unfortunate there. Offengawe had a rougher game last week along with Robson, so good to see them both improve, and even had Joey Manu not in the squad. So this team set up in a really good position to do well there. And then a shout out to all the other guys here. So Samuel there, Will, I love is this actually someone from NRL Fantasy Amateurs? If so, well done. We got Lee, Matthew, Josh, Lucan, and Josh B, Peter G, Jaden Q, and Denty into 11th. Good on you, pal. But yeah, there's that top 20 guys for all in there. Eddie Durham, killing it, 21. Where's he at? 1,078. It's a massive score this week. Wow. Payne Haas is huge. Teddy, Hines, Latrell, Burton there, Harry. Yeah, pretty solid bench. Nice, pretty good. Team's looking solid. So that's the top 20. We'll jump into my league here as well and see where the top 3 are sitting at, considering we are 6 weeks away from finding out the winner and getting those cash prizes. Wow, how good's our community going? We're 550th overall and 202 in my community, so pretty cool on that one. So I got the 2 Wills, 1st and 2nd, and then Josh 3rd, Luke in 4th, Joshy B 5th, Denty's in 7, all those guys. A little shout out to everyone here in that top section there. So where are we looking? Where are we at? So, okay. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, really close there. That's going to be very interesting how that goes. And if anyone that's 6th to 10th can kind of catch up there. So 10th is away from 3rd, 874, only 100 away, really, 111. So pretty cool. It's going to be fun little end of the season here for these guys to see who can get into that spot. So yeah, very exciting going forward with that one. And I think that'll be it on the People Squad. It's just, as I said, it's going to be pretty difficult. It's going to be fun and a little bit tough to work out what we're going to do as a squad going forward in that Discord group. If you haven't joined yet, please do. I'll hopefully remember to pop that link in the description, but that is all. And we'll move to the head-to-head squad. Incredible that out of all three of the teams, this head-to-head team, even in a really good position here in the overall rankings, is actually sitting at a team value of 13.52, which is still lower than what what my team is. So crazy to see that. Has 4 trades left as well, and we'll move to how I went this week. So no Cleary in this side. We went for DCE instead, just based on purely around the numbers. But a 968 here was pretty solid, just above what my team and ended up there. So sitting last week at 246, down to 262, which is okay. Unfortunately, played Booth over. I should have just taken top score, but we're going for glory, right? So I was hoping for a 45-50 from Boothy. Lost to 10 points out on that one. Usually I don't go for it and they outscore them. This time it went the other way, but is what it is. Really happy with the hookers and mids here, guys. 67, 64, Murray and Offa. Papali'i, E. Cook, Crichton and Harris. So great setup there. Even the halves were good. Munster and Cherry. Obviously, both those guys will usually score a little bit higher than that. But that's okay. It happens, right? We had Kohler's 20. Again, unfortunate that we didn't get a great score from him, but the Manly boys will be better. Teddy Hines and Garrick. So not the best score from him. Fatala Mariner was okay with 41. McInnes the 45. Boothie there. So just not a great performance from the bench again. And then just a couple of lower Manly boys setups there. So with the head-to-head score, we have the 74k remaining in this one. So we can, if we want to, make a bit of an upgrade. I think for Tyler Mariner's completely fine to continue playing on a weekly basis. We'd like for him to get a 45 to 50 going forward, but it was great that he actually got those big minutes in this one. Unfortunately, very limited on the attacking stats side, and with there being so many points scored in this game, he wasn't able to really dominate. But to be honest with you, he's been pretty impressive. Like, it's good to see him back running in full force. Like, he's actually very, very tough to tackle, as you can tell. So he's someone that I think is very, very interesting. We want to be playing To'o from here on in. That's for sure. I just had that opportunity to loop in this one, which is always ideal. We might want to be trying to loop someone like a Booth from here on in. But this extra 70k, who would we look to trade on? That's the biggest question in this squad. Do you try and upgrade a Kohler, for example? Do you try and upgrade McInnes? Do you go to like a Payne Haas? I suppose that's a potential option if we want to. Do we just hold steady and wait for injuries and suspensions to happen? Because they will definitely happen. You saw what happened with Ponga, unfortunately, this week, for example. But yeah, there's definitely a few questions. I think we're just going to have to answer them after team list. But for a team that was ranked 21 for a bit there, we've dropped back to 262, which is still decent, but overall, we would have liked to push for overall honours, but weren't able to get that far. We moved to my league, so the 968, see how that fared. Unfortunately, the Bunts of Bunty, we lost by 5 points there. Got a nice win in the Thrillers, which was definitely needed considering we're in 5th position now. We were 4th and we got a win and still went down the rankings, obviously a points differential type of thing. We lost here in Strictly Guns, so there's a few leagues now we're not clearly in first, just because we've been struggling a little bit. Thankfully, apart from that really tough head-to-head Thrillers League, we are sitting in the top 4. So this one here will be interesting to have a look at how that ended up. But we must have lost on points differential now. How'd it work? We must have been in 5th last week. There you go. I must have been, yeah, because we got that extra loss. Yeah, we had 4 in a row. So great to get back in the winner's circle and hopefully get a few more before those finals come up. So yeah, definitely a fun league, this one. You got Eddie Durham, who's sitting, what was he, like 20th overall or something? Crazy. Yeah, 21st overall. For example, you got Andrews here, 729. Matthew is 700th. I think Kyle, what's Kyle Lomas? 1535. Oh, I'm actually beating him now. Exciting. Clinton, 280. You've got 299.90. 821. So a lot of guys in the top 1,000 here, which is pretty cool. And then we're getting to some of the lesser teams. But K5's in there. Timmy Ballantyne's, good to see a little ranking from all of them. Yeah, so most of the teams here in a pretty good stead. Pretty tough here that Timmy's ranked 1,342 and has the losing record. Has a draw in there, which is interesting. Andrews here's got 2 draws. Crazy. But that's the setup. Yeah, there you go. 842 in overall rank and sitting 14th in the league. That's tough times. But that's that video, guys. The round results. I hope you enjoyed that one. We will get into a little bit of an analysis, the reaction video next, and then we'll have the team list and our video with Scoop later on Tuesday night. So hope you enjoyed all this. Catch you in the next one, guys. See you later.